If you want all the latest news of NBA 2K and also NBA in general, you should follow me on my Twitter account at PackHoopsYT. Not only that, I do giveaways all the time when it comes to VC, games, and also even consoles. So check it out, follow me, and see you there. Que pasa to the Pack? It is Pack here,
aka your mama's best friend.
Now, NBA 2K21, there is a user that created 60 historical teams that you can use today in NBA 2K21 for free, basically. And I want to show it to you guys right now because there are some crazy teams that I've always wanted, and he makes these teams, and he also makes historical players like Charles Barkley, like Reggie Miller, and it looks pretty realistic. Before this video starts, so be an OG, join the pack, and subscribe. And now let's get this video started. So if you want to access it, I mean, you can just pull up the rosters when you're playing, but I want to show it to you guys right now. I'm going to go to create a roster, I'm going to go to NBA, and I'm going to go to user creator roster. I'm going to search for the online ID. It is Peregrino, which is, you know, like the Alka-Seltzer, I think. 1978. So this is an old man that made this. No, I'm just kidding. He could be young. Okay, so 379 downloads, which means not enough people know about this, and hopefully there's gonna be a lot more downloads. 60 new historical teams. Volume 1, let's check it out. So, I mean, where do we even start? I'll start off with so you go to the all-time teams, and that's where the first couple teams are. I mean, this one has Moses Malone with Charles Barkley. Now when Moses Malone was a little older, while Charles Barkley was a rookie. Julius Erving was definitely already past his prime, but this was like a really good team on paper, and now they have it in the game. I agree though that Charles Barkley does not look great in this one, but there's other ones that look pretty good. You have the Bucks team with Marquise Johnson and Sidney Moncrief, Bob Lanier. Like, this was a really good team. You have the Scottie Pippen Bulls without Michael Jordan, the season that he retired and played baseball. They had this team that actually went to the conference finals. You have the Cavs with Terrell Brandon, with Brad Daughtry and Mark Price. You have the Celtics that this was like way before the trades happened and Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett went in. This is when Antoine Walker was the second best player on the Celtics for a long time with Paul Pierce. They were never really that good, but they had this team. You had the Clippers when Ron Harper was the best player and Doc Rivers was on the team, and then you have a new player like Olden Polynice. I'm not gonna act like I know who that is, but he's on this. You have the Grizzlies with Sharif and Mike Bibby, Bryant Reeves, which was like on paper pretty good, but they never really won anything. You have the Hawks with Mutombo as the best player. Steve Smith was on the team, and Christian Laettner, who I believe was an all-star this season. I mean, you have so many really good teams here. You have the Glenn Rice Hornets with Muggsy Bogues. Vlade Divac was on this team, and he was pretty good on the team too. You have the Jazz with Mark Eaton. You have the Kings. We already know about this one. That was really, really good. You have the Knicks with Xavier McDaniel, who had a really good season that year when Charles Oakley and Mark Jackson was on this team as well. You have the Magic when Tracy McGrady was the best player, and this team is actually really fun to use because they had Grant Hill, Horace Grant. Tracy McGrady was averaging like 38 in like a season. You have this Mavericks team with Dale Ellis, Rolando Blackman, who I believe were decent at the time. You have Petrovic's Nets. You have the Pacers with Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, Jalen Rose, Mark Jackson, Dale Davis, who all went to the finals that year. Yeah, this team was stacked, believe it or not. And Jalen Rose was arguably even better than Rick Smits on this team. You have the Pelicans with Baron Davis as the best player. You have the Pistons when Kelly Tripucka was the second best player. Raptors with Damon Sotomayor was balling out, and Tracy McGrady was still, I think, a rookie. Rockets with Hakeem and Ralph Sampson was the second best player at the time. David Robinson with Terry Cummings and also Rod Strickland. This is way before they had Tim Duncan. You have the Charles Barkley Suns. This is such a good team to have. Charles Barkley with Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley, Richard Dumars. And then Charles Barkley doesn't look amazing, but he looks pretty decent here, kind of realistic. Tom Chambers on the Thunder. This was definitely one of their better teams ever. On the Supersonics, you have the Timberwolves. You have the Blazers with Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, Kiki Vandeweghe. Warriors with Chris Mullin as the best player with Sleepy Floyd. You had the Moses Malone, Bernard King, Wizards with Muggsy Bogues, Jeff Malone. I mean, there's some crazy good teams, and they have the all-time teams as the G League teams. And if you keep going down into the regular NBA teams, they still have even more teams. It's crazy. You have the Allen Iverson team with Larry Hughes and Tim Thomas. You know, he never really had the best teams, did he? You had the Ray Allen Bucks that went to the conference finals, I believe, and almost made it to the finals with Sam Cassell, Glenn Robinson, Michael Redd. You had the Bulls with Jimmy Butler, and they also had Pau Gasol on this team. You have LeBron James with Ilgauskas when he was a lot better, Carlos Boozer. You had the Isaiah Thomas Celtics that went to the conference finals when Jaylen Brown wasn't as good but still pretty good, and Al Horford. And it's kind of crazy that Isaiah Thomas led this team to the conference finals now that you really think about it. Clippers had Elton Brand with Chris Kaman, who was low-key really good at the time. Grizzlies Pau Gasol season, I don't know if this was like rookie of the year season, but it was one of his seasons. Joe Johnson with the Hawks, with Jamal Crawford and Josh Smith. This was like a low-key really fun team. The Heat with Dwayne Wade, Karan Butler, Lamar Odom. This was before LeBron made it to the team. You have the Gerald Wallace Hornets, and Joe Wallace is so fun to use in 2K. The Jazz with AK-47 when he was like in his prime, and you had Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer. This was such a good team talent-wise, and they have Mehmet Okur added into the game. You have the Kings with Chris Webber. You have the Starberry Knicks with Jamal Crawford, which was like low-key a fun team, and Allen Houston when he was a little older. You have this Kobe team. You have the Kobe team that won the championship with Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Andrew Bynum that they added into the game, Trevor Ariza, Shannon Brown. Like, that's so cool. You have the Magic with Dwight Howard that made it to the finals. You have Dirk Nowitzki's Mavs that should have did a lot better with Michael Finley. You have the Jason Kidd with Vince Carter Nets, which was like low-key a really good team. You had older Melo's Nuggets with the Chris Anderson created, and low-key looks pretty much like him. You have Jermaine O'Neal's Pacers. You have Ron Artest on this team. You have Reggie Miller. They actually did a really good job with Reggie Miller in this creator too. It looks just like him. You have the Hornets Pelicans. You have Grant Hill's Pistons with Joe Dumars and Ortis Thorpe. Chris Bosh's Raptors. Oh, that's such a cool with TJ Ford. Oh my gosh, that's a pretty cool team. Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler and Charles Barkley's Rockets. You have the Spurs in 2003 that won the championship with David Robinson when he was a little older. Had Steven Jackson, Tony Parker, Manu, Tim Duncan, and Bruce Bowen, Steve Smith, Malik Rose, Kevin Willis. I mean, this team was stacked. Devin Brown. You have the Suns with Jason Kidd, Kevin Johnson, Sean Marion. This was low-key a good team too. You have Kevin Durant's Oklahoma City Thunder, as you should, with Russell Westbrook. They choked the lead against the Warriors. You have the Kevin Garnett Timberwolves that I don't know. I think they made the playoffs. That's all I remember from them. And then the Blazers that I believe beat the Rockets in the game winner. I believe. I don't know if CJ McCollum was on the team yet. Actually, I don't know. And then the Warriors with Chris Mullin, Chris Webber, Latrell Sprewell, who is really good on this team. Like, oh, it's such a cool team to have. And then Michael Jordan's Wizards, which is also pretty cool. I mean, they have really cool teams here. It is stacked with a bunch of fun teams that I can't wait to try out. I mean, it is so sick that this dude took his time to make 60 teams that we've been begging 2K to make, and he's like, I'll make it. And it's like barely any creative players too. Like, it'll feel like real teams added in 2K, and I can't wait to try these out in videos and stuff like that. What do you think? What's the best team that's added, and what team that you wish he added? Leave it in the comments below and download it and check it out. And if you like this channel, give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time. If you want all the latest news of NBA 2K and also NBA in general, you should follow me on my Twitter account at PackHoopsYT. Not only that, I do giveaways all the time when it comes to VC, games, and also even consoles. So check it out, follow me, and see you there.